was around this time 3 years ago that it was announced Bryan Blair would be the new athletic director at Toledo. A couple coaching hires later and plenty of innovation, and his impact on the Rockets can be felt everywhere. So I'm pleased to be joined today by Bryan Blair in studio. Thanks for being here.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What do you feel like are some of the greatest lessons that you've learned about what it takes to succeed as an athletic director through this 3-year span?
The reality is this was my first AD opportunity, right? So I think you're always in growth mode. You're always learning. I think that's certainly true for me. Never a finished product, always trying to get better. Probably number one is listen more than you talk. I think so many times you step into a leadership position and everybody's looking to you all the answers, right? What's the direction? What's the new guy want to see? Where are we going? What's he going to change? X, Y, and Z. And I think you have to fight that urge to prove to people that you know what you're doing and really resist that temptation and really take time to listen and remind yourself to, hey, pause, take it in, and be slow to move at certain times. I think as a leader, you can't dilly-dally, you got to make decisions. But I think certainly when you're starting out at a place, you may make decisions that you don't quite understand the full context of the decision that you're making. And there's some things I did early on that I look back and say, okay, that was the right move. There's others I say, you know what, if I had to do that all over again, I'd maybe do it a little bit differently. But you try never to make the same mistake twice. But at the end of the day, it boils down to people and relationships. And we could talk through different strategies and techniques and technology and all the different changes happening. At the end of the day, everything we do boils down to people and relationships. And if you focus on your people, the recruit, retain, develop the best of them, student, athlete, coach, staff. And then you really focus on how do you keep those people happy and then get them aligned and pull in the same direction. Everybody knows their seat on the bus. I think that's a recipe for success.
You talk about the strength of people and relationships. You've had to make quite a few coaching hires, including launching an entirely new varsity sport. For you, during an interview, what is the most important thing you need to hear to know that you found the right person for the job?
Number one, you don't want jerks. Right, we work too hard. We work ridiculous hours in college athletics. People say, well, when's your downtime? It's 7 days a week, almost 24/7 sometimes. There is no downtime. So if you're gonna work really, really hard, really, really close with people, you can't have a jerk. You can't have a selfish individual that's only motivated by self. Everybody needs to be motivated by the greater good and the realization that we'll all have success within that framework. I think two, understanding what it's like to be a part of a bigger community. I would say Toledo is a big, small town. And I noticed that when I first got here, everybody knows everybody. There's 2 degrees of separation between every different individual. So you need to behave accordingly. You need to treat people the right way. You need to have a humility about yourself. You're not too good for anybody or anything. And I think if you look at it as a commonality between the coaches I've hired, but also the great coaches that we've retained, I think they all share that sentiment of, I'm not too good for anybody. I've got a humility about myself. I want to be a part of a greater good, and I'm going to constantly strive for excellence. And I think if you get that unique mix within this community with the support that we have, that's why I think you see the success that you have.
One of the biggest announcements recently involving athletics, but also the University of Toledo and the city as a whole, is Glass City Live. Can you tell us a little bit more about just how this came together and why it's important for athletics specifically?
Yeah, I mean, you go on our campus and you see the Glass Bowl. And I think the Glass Bowl is absolutely iconic. I mean, it's one of the best football stadiums I've ever stepped foot on. Certainly, I've been to bigger ones, I've been to newer ones. But you look at the sight lines in that facility, there's not a bad seat in the house. Maybe the only bad seat is the light poles on the front of the deck. But we brought some promoters in, being candid, a couple of them, and said, hey, what would it look like to host a concert series here? And they had varying opinions, but every one of them loved the sightlines in the Glass Bowl and the idea of hosting the concert. And certainly we had the Beach Boys, and they had some concerts after football games or football contests. Probably nothing of what the magnitude that we're talking of now. And in today's day and age, we're all searching for revenue. We've got a campus that we need to put as many visitors on our campus as possible to take in all that's amazing about the University of Toledo, but also enrich the campus vibrancy. You want to provide an opportunity for your young people to have an opportunity in May to celebrate and be in the Glass Bowl, and it's a one-of-a-kind experience. I think that makes this city better and brings visitors and heads in beds. I think it makes our university better by bringing visitors, and I think from an athletic standpoint, it even increases the value of the Glass Bowl as we show it's more than a football stadium.
So after Glass City Live, what's the next big thing for Toledo athletics?
Yeah, well, we're going to continue on this concert stream. So this is certainly the first iteration of a concert, but we're looking forward to more. And hopefully building it out into maybe even a 2-day event. I think the other piece is just this change in landscape that we're existing in. And I see and hear many of my colleagues kind of a little down and out about the change and oh, it's changing so fast and we don't know what's coming. I actually get excited about that. Maybe I'm sick in the head, I don't know. But I think within change is opportunity. And I think if you run towards that opportunity and take advantage of it, you've got an opportunity to separate yourself from some others. And so much of that is getting alignment. And I think we've got probably more alignment within our department amongst our coaching staff, administration, leadership at the top with Matt Schroeder and our board of trustees than maybe ever before, at least certainly in my tenure there. We all understand where we're trying to get to. We understand what it's going to take. We understand the hardship that may be along the way, and we're all locking arms and battling together. And that, to me, sets the stage for epic to happen over these next couple of years, and that's what I'm really excited about.
Well, we can't wait to see how the Rockets continue to launch into this new future. But thanks so much for being here to chat with me today.
No, always a pleasure.